Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The Art of Waiting. Every Friday evening, as the sun dipped low, casting a golden glow across the bustling streets of the city, a man named Aaron found his way to the same corner table in a quiet, charming little restaurant named Marigold's. It was a place renowned for its warm ambiance, the smell of freshly baked bread, and gentle piano melodies that floated through the air like a delicate promise. But despite the cozy atmosphere and the cheerful clientele, Aaron never smiled as he stepped inside. He never came with company. Each week, like clockwork, he arrived alone, ordered the same dish, a bowl of rich mushroom risotto, and a glass of deep red Merlot, and sat staring out the window with a mixture of patience and melancholy. For years, the staff had noticed him yet never dared to interrupt his solitude. That is, until Clara, a young waitress with an innate curiosity and warm heart, decided that the lonely man deserved more than invisibility. She noticed the shadows clinging to his eyes, the way his hands trembled slightly as he lifted the glass to his lips, and the quiet sighs he released when his gaze wandered to the empty seat opposite him. One chilly Friday evening in early autumn, Clara resolved to break through the walls of his loneliness. She approached his table with cautious steps, a gentle smile on her lips and a flicker of hope in her eyes. "Excuse me," she said softly, "I hope you don't mind me asking, but I've seen you here every week at the same time. Do you come for the risotto, or is there some special reason you choose this spot?" Aaron looked up, startled. The question, although simple, peeled back a layer he had carefully shielded for years. After a brief hesitation, he motioned for her to sit in the other chair, still empty, waiting for someone he hoped might come, and began to tell her a story. It was a love story still waiting for its ending. She listened, captivated. Aaron's voice was calm, but beneath it, the raw ache of lost love flowed like an undertow. Her name was Lila. I met her almost 10 years ago at a small art gallery opening in a city not far from here, an event that changed everything for me. He paused, smiling faintly at the memory. She was unlike anyone I'd ever known. A painter, bursting with creativity and light. She had wild curls that danced with every step and eyes that held the storms and the sunshine. That night, I was captivated, not just by her art but by her soul. Lila loved to paint stories, Aaron said. Her works were vibrant collages of dreams and truth, scenes of joy and despair that bled from her heart onto the canvas. They shared hours under studio lights, sipping wine, discussing dreams and fears, and promising that somehow, no matter what, they would stay in each other's lives. "What happened?" Clara asked gently as Aaron's gaze dropped to the table. The smile vanished slightly. "Life happened. The kind of life nobody prepares you for. Soon after we met, Lila was offered a prestigious residency abroad, a chance to grow her art on an international stage. I supported her, of course, but she left. We tried to keep the flame alive through letters, calls, and promises during the 8 months she was away. But distance is tricky. When she came back, things had changed. We had changed." Aaron reached into his pocket and pulled out a carefully folded letter, her handwriting elegant and familiar. "This is the last letter she wrote to me." He unfolded it carefully, allowing Clara to see the words penned with love and uncertainty. In it, Lila confessed she was scared, of losing herself, of losing him, of not being enough. "I remember sitting here at this very table, reading this letter again and again, wondering if love was about holding on or knowing when to let go." Aaron smiled sadly. "But I never did let go, not really. I kept waiting, hoping she'd come back to Marigold's and find me at this table. Waiting became my way to hold on to the love we shared." Clara's eyes glistened, sensing the depth of his devotion. "Have you heard from her at all since?" she asked. Aaron shook his head gently. "No, not a word. But this place, this table, it's where I feel closest to her. I never wanted to move on because maybe, just maybe, she missed this place too and would find her way back to me. Every Friday night is a little ritual of hope. Moved by his story, Clara promised herself to help in any way she could. She began, leaving subtle notes at his table, little encouragements scribbled on napkins or hidden beneath his plate, quotes about love, about hope, about second chances. She even arranged for the piano player to play Lila's favorite song one evening, hoping the music might summon a spark of destiny. Weeks passed, and Aaron's routine never wavered. But Clara noticed a change. The shadows around his eyes softened, and a faint light returned to his smile. The patrons began to wonder if the lonely man might be on the verge of healing. One rainy Friday, as Aaron sat lost in thought, a bell chimed, and the door opened with a gust of wind and the scent of fresh rain. Aaron looked up instinctively, and there she stood, Lila. Wet hair clinging to her face, eyes wide with disbelief and longing. Time had softened her edges but not her essence. The restaurant held its breath as the years of waiting converged in a single moment. Lila took tentative steps toward the table where Aaron had been waiting so faithfully for a decade. Their eyes locked, and all the unspoken stories, the letters, the missed phone calls and lonely meals, ignited again in the space between them. Words weren't needed. Instead, Aaron stood and reached out his hand, steady and welcoming. Lila's hands trembled as she laid hers in his, sealing the promise of an unfinished story ready to continue. And so, at Marigold's every Friday, 2 seats would be filled. Not just with food and wine but with a rekindled love, the art of waiting finally rewarded, proving that sometimes the heart's patience creates the most beautiful endings. For more stories, like and subscribe.